check. Hello, check.
They have to stand up. They can't. No need.
ಇನ್ನೂ ಬರ್ತೀರ ಬಗ್ಗಿಲ್ ಬರ್ತೀರ coming in electric vehicle buggy. They are coming buggy. Some more guests.
Honorable dignitaries, esteemed guests, respected deans, heads of the departments, faculty members, and dear students, a very pleasant morning to all. It's indeed a privilege to address this gathering at SAMANVAYA, Industry Academia Connect, and Open House Project Expo. True to its name, Samanvaya signifies harmony and collaboration, a coming together of ideas, expertise, and innovation between industry and academia, hosted by Nitte Meenakshi Institute of Technology, Nitte deemed to be University, Bengaluru. As we come together on this special occasion during our Silver Jubilee year, this platform stands as a celebration of innovation, collaboration, and shared vision of bridging academia with industry. To begin with this auspicious event, I invite Ms. Veeksha for the invocation. I request everyone to rise for the invocation, seeking divine blessings for the success of today's program.
वातापि गणपतिं भजे हम वातापि गणपतिं भजे हम वातापि गणपतिं भजे हम वारणा वारणास्यं वरप्रदं श्रीवारणास्यं वरप्रदं श्रीवारणास्यं वरप्रदं श्रीवातापि गणपतिं भजे हम वातापि गणपतिं भजे हम भजे हम. Thank you.
Thank you, Veeksha, for the beautiful rendition. It's my now honor to invite Dr. H.C. Nagaraj, Principal, NMIT, to deliver the welcome address.
morning. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. The respected guests, distinguished dignitaries, esteemed heads of departments, my dear faculty members, dear students, invitees, and members from press and media. It gives me immense pleasure to extend a warm and cordial welcome to each one of you to SAMANVAYA 2026, an Industry Academia Connect and Open House Project Expo at our Nitte Meenakshi Institute of Technology, a part of Nitte deemed to be University Bangalore campus. SAMANVAYA is a Sanskrit word meaning coordination or harmony or integration. So here this is the integration of academia and industry people. We are deeply honored by the presence of our esteemed chief guest, Professor Dr. Shailesh Naik, the Honorable Director of National Institute of Advanced Studies, Bangalore. I welcome you, sir, for this inaugural program of SAMANVAYA 2026. I request you to accept our knowledge bouquet as a token of our respect. We are privileged to have with us our distinguished guests of honor, Sri C.S. Prakash, the Managing Director, Pushpa Products Private Limited, and member of COIL Board, Government of India. I welcome you, sir, for this inaugural ceremony. It is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Anup Dayanand Sadhu, Chief Commercial Manager, retired from Indian Railway Traffic Service. I welcome you, sir, for this program. I'm happy to welcome Professor K.R. Sridhar Murthy, distinguished scientist, retired from Indian Space Research Organization and former Managing Director, Antrix Corporation Limited. I welcome you, sir, for this program. It is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Anjani Priyadarshini, Quantum Technologies Industry Specialist and former National Lead for Quantum Technologies, AWS India. I welcome you, madam. I take this opportunity to welcome Dr. Sandeep Shastri, the Vice President for Nitte deemed to be University Bangalore campus and former Vice Chancellor of Jagan Lake City University, Bhopal. I welcome you, sir, for this inaugural program. I am equally privileged by the esteemed presence of Sri Rohit Punja, the trustee, Nitte Education Trust, whose vision and leadership continue to guide our institution. I welcome you, sir, for this ceremony. I also welcome other distinguished guests and also Dr. Sitaram, this former director of CPRI. I welcome you, sir, for this program. Welcome all my senior colleagues, directors, then deans, heads of departments, and all our student participants. I welcome all of you for this inaugural ceremony. As we celebrate this special occasion during our Silver Jubilee year, our Nitte Meenakshi Technology was started in the year 2001, and this is Silver Jubilee year. As a part of this, the SAMANVAYA stands as a reflection of our commitment to strengthen the synergy between academia and industry. It provides a platform for meaningful collaboration, knowledge exchange, and innovation-driven learning. Today, the Open House Project Expo is also there, which showcases the creativity, technical excellence, and problem-solving capabilities of our students, aligned with the real-world industry needs. In our institution, some special programs we are having because a lot of industries have helped us. A lot of industries have set up their laboratories in the college for the benefit of our students and faculty. To mention a few, Samsung Innovation Campus, then Unnati Lab from Intel, Autoliv, then Blue Star has established a heating, ventilation, air conditioning lab, and cyber security lab, IoT lab. These are all there in the campus. Other than our regular curriculum, these are the additional laboratories, multidisciplinary research centers, to help the students and teachers and to make our students industry ready before they leave our campus. And also for faculty, we are having a shadow program, that is where faculty is permitted to go for 1 or maximum 2 months per year, department wise, to an industry, so that they will be exposed to industry culture, and they can also update their skills, update their knowledge in industry. Faculty members, after they return from the industry, they have to implement those practices to our students in the classroom. So this shadow program is very effective. It has been introduced by our trustee Rohit Punja. And we are also having so many industry members as the members for Board of Studies, because ours is the first autonomous college. Actually, I'm happy to tell you that in our country, this is the youngest autonomous institution, because 2001 college was started. In 2007, we got autonomy by the UGC, University Grants Commission, based on the recommendation of Vishweshwar Technological University, to which college is affiliated, and also Government of Karnataka. So a lot of industry members are there on the Board of Studies to design the curriculum and also to make our students industry ready before they leave our campus. And also a lot of members are there as a part of academic council. So industries are there. Professors from Indian Science we are having as members for Board of Studies as well as academic council. Even for our governing body also, members from Indian Science, IIIT Bangalore, they are there as members to guide us, to mentor us. And also we are having a lot of funded projects from DST, Department of Science and Technology, VGS, Vision Group on Science and Technology, Government of Karnataka, then Naval Research Board, etc. So a lot of funded projects are carried out by our senior faculty like Professor Tingli and others. And the students are exposed for those projects, and some students can work in those projects after their regular class hours. So that is one advantage for our students. We also got the A+ grade by the National Assessment Accreditation Council. We have got the A+ grade, and the NIRF rank, which you know, National Institutional Ranking Framework, we got 101 to 150 band. And also all the departments are accredited by NBA, the National Board of Accreditation, the quality assessment body of the Government of India. And also we have got platinum grade successively by the AICTE, All India Council for Technical Education, and CII, that is Confederation of Indian Industries. So this jointly they give the awards for the colleges based upon industry connect. So every year we're getting the platinum grade, which is the highest grade. And that is, I'm happy to say that a lot of industry interactions are taking place, and our students and faculty members are benefited by that. So this is SAMANVAYA is one of the important events in connection to Silver Jubilee year, which acts as a platform to exhibit for our students to exhibit their talents, and industry people are there as panel members to give us guidance and support and how to take our education forward so that we can meet the requirements of our industry in the days to come. So once again, with this, I welcome all our respected dignitaries, all the members of the audience for this welcome program of the SAMANVAYA 2026. And I wish you a very engaging and insightful experience to all our student members. Thank you.
That was truly inspiring, sir. Your warm welcome address set the tone for the today. On behalf of NMIT, we welcome our beloved principal, Dr. H.C. Nagaraj. In Indian tradition, lighting the lamp marks the beginning of knowledge and a positive start. I now request our esteemed dignitaries to kindly come forward for lighting of the lamp.
Shubham Kurutvam Kalyanam Arogyam Dhanasampalam Shatribuddhi Vinashaya Deepajyotir Namosute Deepajyotir Namosute Deepajyotir Parabrahma Deepajyotir Janardana Deepajyotir Parabrahma Deepajyotir Janardana Deepo Harintu Vepapam Satyadeepa Namosute
To set the context for today's event, I invite Dr. Prashant, HOD of Robotics and AI, to deliver the opening remarks.
Respected chief guest, dignitaries on the dais, dignitaries of the dais, my dear colleagues, and my dear students, industry partners, a very good morning to all of you. It is my privilege to present a brief overview of SAMANVAYA 2026 Industry Academia Connect and also the Open House Project Expo. This is organized as part of our Silver Jubilee celebrations of NMIT. The word Samanvaya, which as Dr. Nagraj sir was mentioning, it is a synergy between two important ecosystems. One is academia, the other one is industry. Individually, both are strong, but together they can create a transformative impact. Our tagline for Samanvaya 2026 is collaborate, innovate, and elevate. This basically captures the spirit of this initiative. Collaborate basically establishes a meaningful partnerships between academia and industry, which is no longer an option. This is mandatory. Innovation is essential, which will lead to the creation of new ideas, technologies, solutions that address the real world challenges. And finally, elevate. This is because when we work together, we elevate not just the institutions or organization, but society as a whole. Today's rapid evolving world demands that education goes beyond classrooms. At NMIT, we strongly believe that learning must be experiential, interdisciplinary, and industry aligned. In this direction, we have taken several proactive initiatives. For instance, making internships mandatory for all the students, introducing shadow program for faculty members so that they can engage closely with industry to stay updated and to understand the current best practices. Most importantly, we emphasize that collaboration is not just restricted for the teaching alone. It must extend to research, innovation, and problem solving. This partnership between industry and academia is mutual beneficial. From industry perspective, the collaboration with academia provides access to young talent and fresh perspectives, opportunities for research-driven innovations, a platform to develop real-world solutions to the challenges, etc. From academic perspective, the industry engagement offers practical insights that will enrich our curriculum and pedagogy, exposure to real-world problems for students and researchers, opportunities for impactful application-oriented research. When these strengths combine, we bridge the critical gap that is existing between the theory and practice. As highlighted in the event schedule, today's program thoughtfully is curated to reflect this vision. We will begin with a keynote address by our esteemed chief guest, followed by an engaging panel discussion on Industry Academia Connect, featuring eminent experts from diverse domains. In the next few hours, you will have the opportunity to listen to industry leaders and researchers and keynote address focusing on climate change and equitable future, a topic of global importance and collective responsibility. I strongly encourage all the participants to actively engage with the speakers, ask questions, and build meaningful networking connections. And most importantly, I also request all the participants to visit the Project Expo where our students are exhibiting their technical prowess, their creativity, and the products that they have developed as part of their final year project. These projects are not just academic exercise, they represent ideas that have potential to evolve into real world solutions. In conclusion, Samanvaya is not just an event, it is a platform, a mindset, and a movement towards stronger, sustained collaboration between academia and industry. Let us use this opportunity to collaborate meaningfully, innovate purposefully, and elevate collectively. Thank you all. I wish you all a highly engaging and enriching experience.
That was a clear and inspiring overview of the vision and significance of this initiative, Dr. Prashant. It's now my privilege to invite Sri Rohit Punjab, Trustee, Nitte Education Trust, to address the gathering.
Dignitaries on the dais, dignitaries off the dais, teachers, students, guests, press. Warm welcome to everybody. It's my privilege to be here at the launch of SAMANVAYA 2026. I want to spend a few minutes now focusing on one aspect of this event, which is the projects that you students have worked on. I'm sure, and I'm pretty sure that you have learned many things in the execution of these projects. To begin with, you have taken the learning you had in the classroom or outside, the theory, and you had an opportunity to translate that theory into practice. And when you do so, the theory stays with you for lifetime. It's not something you forget at the end of the semester. So I'm sure you've learned that. As spoken earlier, as stated earlier by Dr. Prashant, you've had a chance to solve problems. It's very different to solve a problem on a piece of paper in the exam, and it's another thing to solve a problem in the project that you're doing. It becomes interdisciplinary, you have multiple people doing things, and it suddenly becomes far more complicated. So I hope you've improved the problem-solving capabilities. Along the way, you've used tools, simulation tools, other tools to make sure that whatever you're building actually works before you go and put your equipment and your design together. Those are important. So it's skills on tools that you would have developed, and that's critical for you. You will have worked in a team, and when you work in a team, suddenly you have another set of challenges. You have some people who like to work in the morning, some people who like to work in the night. You've got to figure that out, right? When will you work? You have some people who say A is better than B, and some people will say not A, not B, do C. All have their merits. It's again something you need to talk, you need to learn to share your view, you need to be open to different perspectives. That's all part of teamwork, which is critical for what you will do outside the college, more critical once you graduate. As stated earlier, you will have real world challenges. Suddenly, you will have more noise, you will have things you didn't anticipate, you will make assumptions which fail in the real world, and that means back to the drawing board. So I'm expecting that you would have got a taste of problem solving in the real world. We've also discussed earlier in the morning innovation and interdisciplinary, so I won't talk much there. I will close by tying all of this to the interviews that many of you will do very soon. I would like you to remember that an interview is not a viva. It's not a situation where somebody asks a question and you provide the best answer possible. It's really a discussion. Students, please understand that. Why am I saying that? Because in the interview, somewhere at the appropriate time, you should have the confidence to say, can I say something? That something is a message you want to convey, and it was not asked to you by the interviewer. and you will almost surely get a chance to say what you wish to. And at that time, if you speak, and I'm sure you will, in a very confident manner about what you did in the project, what you learned, the mistakes you made, mistakes you could fix, the mistakes you could not fix. I am very confident that the outcome of the interview will improve significantly by this discussion, which you will trigger. You. So I'm tying the project back to the interview. I hope you remember that in an interview, you're free to say, "Can I say something?" That itself shows confidence. And when you're given a chance, speak enthusiastically about this project or any other project you have done. And I'm sure the outcome, the probability of success will improve manifold. So I wish you the best today. Happy learning. And I'm sure there's more that will happen after this event when you develop your projects even further. All the best. Thank you.
Your insights and words of encouragement are deeply appreciated, sir. We now move to the significant highlight of the event, the unveiling of the project abstract book, showcasing the innovation and hard work of our students. I request all the dignitaries to kindly unveil the abstract book. Following this, I invite Dr. Ramachandra, Professor from Electronics and Communication Department, to briefly address the gathering.
A very good morning to respected dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, esteemed jury members, faculty, and my dear students. It gives me immense pleasure to present the report of today's Final Year Project Expo, a flagship academic event that showcases the innovation, creativity, and technical excellence of our graduating students. This expo has witnessed enthusiastic participation of all the departments: ECE, EEE, CSE, ISC, Aeronautical, Mechanical Engineering, Civil Engineering, AML, and AIDS. A total approximately around 373 projects for today it is being showcased. The project presented today are not only academically significant but also addresses the real world challenges, demonstrating strong alignment with industry requirements and societal needs. It is noteworthy that several of these projects have already received recognition in the form of awards and external fundings from reputed agencies. The key highlights of this event is evaluation process which being conducted by distinguished panel of jury members from both industry and academia. Their expertise ensures a fair, transparent, and comprehensive assessment of the projects, focusing on innovation, technical depth, feasibility, and impact. The Project Expo serves as an excellent platform for students to demonstrate their technical skills and creativity, engage with industry experts, gain valuable feedback for further improvement, and build confidence in presenting their ideas. I just a moment to just give the brief of the last year. We had 337 projects out of which 28 projects got research grants, that is for academic year 24-25. For the academic year 25-26, we have 373 projects showcased for today, and already we have got 16 projects selected for research grants and the external fundings. Thank you all. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best for the students. Thank you.
We sincerely appreciate this moment, sir, and applaud all the students whose work is featured. We now proceed with the presentation of mementos to our esteemed guests as a token of our gratitude. I now request Sri Rohit Punja, Trustee, Nitte Education Trust, to kindly present the memento to our esteemed chief guest, Dr. Shailesh Nayak, Director, NIAS. I request Dr. Sandeep Shastri to hand over a memento to Mr. C.S. Prakash, Managing Director, Pushpak Products Private Limited. I request our principal to hand over a memento to Dr. Anup Dayanand Sadhu, Chief Commercial Manager, Indian Railway Traffic Service. I request Dr. Sandeep Shastri, Vice President, to hand over a memento to Professor K.R. Sridhar Murthy, Distinguished Scientist, retired ISRO, and former Managing Director, Antrex Corporation Limited. I request our principal to hand over a memento to Dr. Anjani Priyadarshini, Quantum Technologies Industry Specialist, former National Leader of Quantum Technologies, AWS India. Ladies and gentlemen, we now move forward the most anticipated segment of today's session. It's a great honor to introduce our chief guest for today. Dr. Shailesh Nayak is a director of National Institute of Advanced Studies, NIAS, Bengaluru, and a distinguished scientist renowned for his contributions to marine GIS, oceanography, and satellite data applications. A recipient of Padma Shri, he has had an illustrious career in shaping in India's ocean and earth science initiatives. He served as a secretary, Ministry of Earth Sciences, and has also held key roles at ISRO Space Application Center. Dr. Nayak played a pivotal role in establishing the Indian Ocean Tsunami Warning System and contributed significantly to achievements in ocean forecasting and fisheries advisory services. He is a fellow of INSA, the Indian Academy of Science, and International Academy of Astronautics, and has authored over 150 research publications. This is only a brief glimpse of his remarkable journey, with many more achievements and contributions to his credit. We welcome you, sir. I now invite him to deliver a keynote address. I request all the dignitaries to take their seats of the dais.
morning to everybody. Dr. Nagaraj, Sri Rohitji, Professor Sastri, Sri Prakash, Professor Sridhar Murthy, Dr. Sandhu, Dr. Anjani, and my dear students. It's really a pleasure to be here, and I'm extremely grateful to Professor Sastri and Dr. Nagaraj for inviting me and giving me opportunity to talk to you about a very important issue which all of us have been addressing today. As you know that the last almost 3 decades, we have been deliberating on various aspects of the climate change. We are also experiencing the impacts of the climate change. And I think it would be useful for all of us to understand how the climate is changing and what is likely to be our future. As you know that the Earth we are treating as a one single unit, and there are different components like atmosphere, hydrosphere, biosphere, geosphere, and snow and ice. And there is always a lot of exchange between mass and energy between these components as well as across these components. A very simple example is a monsoon. Because of the sun's energy, the ocean water gets warmed up, water gets evaporated to the atmosphere, and then wind carries it to land. Then we have a rainfall, and that water again through rivers, streams comes back to the ocean. So this change, when it happened, the mass, when it changes from ocean to atmosphere to land to again back to ocean, there is always a lot of exchange between energy. And this is the crux of the issue, which there are several such chain of reaction which we need to understand why climate is changing. In the last few years, the human influence became a major driver, and we have seen that our activities have dramatically impacted this normal cycle of exchange of mass and energy, and that is why we are getting warming, and there are issues which are impacts of that warming we will have to understand. Now, before we go, we also need to understand how the human evolved. The main, we have to see last 200 years or 200,000 years or so, when the first human or the first ancestors of the human in the East Africa about 200,000 years ago was evolving. And that time, the climate also changed. The climate change from a C3, what we call as a woodland, that means forest, to the grasslands in the 200,000 years, 5 to 6 times. So each event may lasted hundreds or thousands of years. So the change was very slow. But at that time, the ancestors, the human, were mainly dependent on hunting, and their food habit has to change when it becomes from forest to the grassland, because the kind of animals and the fruits which they get would be quite different. And they started adapting to this changing of the environment. And that is one reason that human evolved much more compared to any other animal or biota. So that is the reason the adaptation capability of the human is very important. The next thing which happened is the last 10,000 years, which we call as a Holocene, where the climate was reasonably stable, around 15 degrees or so. And that is the time when civilization grew. People started living in a community settlements. And that is a time in India, about 8,000 years ago, the rice started cultivating. So the advent of agriculture is is around 8,000 years or so. Now, in last 10,000 years, the human were already there. So the exchange of the human activities, ecosystem, and the climate started at that time. And this is very important for us to understand that how we can project what is likely to happen. So last 10,000 years, what happened is very critical. We will briefly see that. The first is the initial period up to 6,200,000 before present era. There was very intense summer monsoon and also dry spells. The next 6,200 to 2,250 was drying period started, and the sea level also has gone down, and the variability between wet and dry climate increased. And the 2,250 years ago, about 2 to 3 acres of land per household, and you can see that those who have used these advisories, those who have a P got about 12,000 rupees additional than they get. Soybean 3,800, pearl millet 12,500, maize 5,000, jowar 40. So if you adopt to the condition which is and use that information for the agriculture practices, you will be still increase your production and increase the economic. Now, this is agriculture. There are a lot of other ecosystems, especially coastal ecosystems. I don't know how many you have seen, but the mangroves, if you have gone to Kundapur or a Kumta or a Sundarbans, which are very important for the kind of a fisheries because they are the breeding and spawning grounds. Now, what is likely to happen is that Sundarbans, its name came from a Sundari tree, which is the Heritaria mangrove species, which is the freshwater loving species. Now, they are being replaced by the salt loving species, which is called Avicennia. So, the ecology of a Heritaria and about 7.3 billion tons of carbon stocks, a huge stock. And about 1.97 billion tons of carbon dioxide is absorbed every year annually. So this is, if you see from last few years, we have increased from approximately 67, now the tree cover 82. So the more greening is happening. There are some places where the forest has gone down, but in general, the forest has increased. The other major change which is going to happen because of the warming, that the seawater will expand and the sea level will rise. And that was happening in last 150 years. It was about 25 centimeter only. That means 1.8 millimeter to now it has gone to 4.2 millimeter, almost 2.5 times. And this is going to translate into quite differently, like in peninsular India, it is likely to increase 1 to 1.5 meter after the end of the century. But in Sundarbans and the Gujarat, it's likely to increase by 4 to 4.5 meter. So it's going to be major rise, and we are already seeing this change. As I told you, the mangroves, the freshwater mangroves are dying, and the salt-loving mangroves. So this is an area where we need to see that what is likely to happen. This is in one area in Orissa. You can see how the erosion is taking place. This is this again from a satellite images, right from 73 onwards. The large changes are happening all along the coast. And that is why we are now seeing from satellite. Now we go to the minerals, because the main thing is we are now want to shift to the renewable, because we know that the fossil fuel energy use increases carbon dioxide in some of these changes. So we need to shift to the renewable. Now, renewable is a very good thing, but there are two issues. One, it is not aligned with the peak power demand. That means in the evenings, when the demand is the maximum, the production from the renewable is minimum. So you need a storage. That is what now being thought of. Now for 25% of the storage, even if you want to do, huge investment is required, about 17.16 lakh crore required if you want to set up a storage facility of a 25% of what renewable energy is being produced. But the second problem is much more that you need nickel, cobalt, lithium, which is not available as of now. And even if it is available in the other, like Chile, Argentina, and Bolivia, and Australia, the processing and the extraction is available only in China. 90% of the extraction all is being done in China, including the rare earths. So this is the major problem which we have been facing, and even in US, which has a 25 years back a leadership in the extraction of the rare earth. They thought that it will be cheaper in China. They closed down their mines and the processing, and now China is not providing them rare earth. So they have restarted the mine, but the processing to be done in China. So strategically also to be very important when we say that we want to do renewable, but these aspects also has to be kept in mind. The other solution to the storage battery is the pump storage. That means during daytime, when you have a solar power, you take the water up, and during evening, you release that water to turbine and generate the electricity. But there are environmental problems. I think those who know, government of Karnataka has planned 2,000 megawatt pump storage generated electricity in Sharavati, but it has got into these environmental issues for quite some time, more than I think 5, 10, 7 years. The solution is still not come. So even if you have the scientifically solution, it is not that always it is able to implement. So how do we transit from this? Our suggestion is that today we are providing about 6% of the energy through thermal power station. There are more than 200 thermal power stations which are more than 25 years old. We need to close them down because the emission from them is pretty high. Instead of that, we should set up high efficiency, low emission plant, which is already been done in Mundra and many other places. Now this kind of plants have been coming up. And we also need to see how efficiently we can use coal. Very simple process by using washing or washed coal for this can drastically reduce the emission. But we are not doing, except at the Tata, they are doing, but we are not doing because the Coal India doesn't want to wash the coal and supply. So these are this kind of an issues. The another is we stopped all the research on the coal, especially on coal gasification, because we thought that we are going to close all the thermal power station and we are not going to use the coal. I think that is where we need to invest, how best we can use the coal. Because strategically, we have sufficient coal. Today, we are seeing what is happening with the dependence on the exports for the fossil fuel, on the rare earth, on the cobalt, nickel, manganese. So whatever we have, I think we need to put the research how best it can be used and don't import Western model directly to be implemented in India. And I will show you a little bit The other important thing is we must have a small and modular nuclear reactors. Many people has a worry about the safety. Now, this problem in the minds of people came that they are not very safe is because of the secrecy of the atomic energy department. Today in Bangalore, you are everywhere see that this much carbon dioxide, this much suspended particles, etc., are there. Many times they say it is severe, it is poor quality. We still continue to live, right? Nobody says, I want to leave Bangalore because of that. Because you know that this is the situation, you have adapted to it. Similarly, if the nuclear power stations also provide what is the radiation coming out, people will accept. But today we don't know. It is given only in their annual report, which is extremely low. But if that is put into a public knowledge, I think people will accept. So, because today, even if you have the technology and all, and the new Shanti bill also allows to set up this kind of reactors, people may not be willing to accept. So I think the acceptability of people is also very important. So the demand of the critical mineral is pretty high. If you see that it is nickel, we need about 500,000 tons, 225 tons cobalt, and 39.3 manganese. It's a huge resource. So we may have to depend on ocean. And that is why India has already started exploring deep ocean mission and secured about 75,000 square kilometer area in the central Indian Ocean, where we have 380 million tons of nodules, which can provide the nickel, cobalt, and manganese. But the issue is, we know how to go there, but the issue is how do we bring those material to the top from 6,000 meters to the top. And that is where the innovation required. And I'm sure there are a lot of young minds around, and you can start thinking that how efficiently you can bring that material on the top. It may not be today, but in next 10, 15 years, we will have to depend on this area for our metal requirement. And not only this, there are areas where the gold, copper, silver, all available in the deep ocean. So we have to find ways and means to extract that. But at the same time, we also need to understand the complete life cycle. Where it occurs, how do you extract, where do you use, what is the waste, what happens to the waste. Like copper is 100% recyclable. But there are many things which is not recyclable. So we must think that how we use what we use, whether it is recyclable or not. That is very important. So last part is how the social aspects are important. The unequal societies do not like, I will show you the graph later. And if the equal societies also perform better on the global peace index, UN has said that all developed countries should spend 0.7% on the foreign aid. Norway and Sweden gives 1%, more than what is US spends only 0.2. Now you can see this is in graph. There is the income inequality and the index of health, social, and environmental problems. You can see this problem is in United States. Norway, Denmark, Sweden, Belgium, this much more equal society, the problems are much less. And this is what is happening, that US is not ready to accept any international law or treaty or anything, all not only related to climate, the law of the sea, US is not there. Any treaty, US is not part of that. You can also see that fuel consumption, coal consumption in India, it is 40 gigajoules per person. Australia 70. USA also produced 232 installed capacity from thermal power station. Our is only 233. While US has many others, we don't have the other. You can see the oil consumption, natural gas, coal power, and the natural. We are not emitting per capita as much as any other developed country. Now the greening, if you see this average leaf area, Brazil is the top, India is the least, 3.33. We have very less area under leaf, but net change, China and India are higher. We are making much faster change in our forest and the leaf area. Vegetated land area, Russia, India is here, but the change, India and China have shown maximum. And I showed you some of those things. So that means, and the degradation, India is nowhere. So we are doing best to elevate the issues of the carbon dioxide. Now, what is the justice? That if you have well-being in health, education, infrastructure, we need energy, we need income. And if you want to increase the income, you will have to use energy. India's energy use is 26 gigajoules per year, which is 1/3 of the world's average and 1/7 of the developed. So we are using much less energy. Our calculation is that to be a developed, we need to increase our energy use 75 to 90 gigajoules per year. So that means we have to increase at least 3 times to be a developed nation. So when we talk about net zero, you cannot link net zero only to the climate. You also link to social and economic resilience. That means unless you are developed at that level, you won't be able to. So that is why India has said we will be net zero only 2070. Because this net zero also has to, if you are not developed, if you are unequal society, you are not going to follow the climate thing. So I think this is very important for us to have the change. Now, as per the Paris Agreement, we have already reached 45% of reduction in emission from 2005 levels. We have reached up to 36. Now we are close to 40. So we will reach by 2030. We have already 50% installed capacity of a renewable. So this we have already achieved 5 years before and the last is the billion tons. This is what we already have this. So basically, when you want sustainable future, there are 3 things. You need a knowledge about the global system. You need a social, economic, and political structures which responds to this knowledge. Like today, the US is not responding to the knowledge that this is a problem and we need to respond. They say we don't care. That is the social system is required. And the human should be aware that we need to follow certain lifestyles and values for the well-being. That means wastage should be reduced. That in India, most of the house, which I have seen that they don't, if they are not using particular room, the lights will be switched off. Not in US. USA, we can afford it, we will keep everything lighted. So these are the small things, but it's very important for us. So basically, that alone knowledge is not enough. You need conducive social system and human behavior to address all these issues which we are facing. So this is what I would like to say, that the knowledge, the structures, the governance structures, the infrastructure, and our own behavior. All three are important for sustainable future. Thank you very much. If there are any questions, and if there is time, I would be very happy. I think not many wants to ask, or someone has to begin. Yeah, I mean, this indirect, in a sense, see, today this war is mainly because of control over oil. I mean, that's what I think. The US wants, in my opinion, to somehow China should not get sufficient oil. So they have taken over Venezuela, next is Iran. These are the two main suppliers of oil to China. Russia would be able to do, but it's not sufficient. Many people say they have a 1 year reserve and all, but this is not question of year or two. It is going to be a long. So this kind of thing, when you want, this kind of thing also can lead to, and earlier also like Iraq war was also for the oil. So there are issues of that kind. Even Ukraine and Russia, they say that the uranium which Ukraine has, that was the main goal, to have a control over the. You see, the China has penetrated, tried to have the force to get this, and this is already happening. It's not that it is not happening. Okay, I think there is no energy left. So, thank you very much.
Deeply grateful to Dr. Shailesh Nayak, Director NIAS, for his exceptionally insightful keynote. Your perspective spanning on floods, climate change, implications of climate change in agro ecosystem, forest conservation, energy transition, and India's initiative have truly broadened our understanding and inspired us to think more responsible towards sustainable citizens. Thank you, sir. So now we have a tea break. All the dignitaries are requested to go to the adjacent room, and students, you have small refreshment below the, ground floor. You can move forward there. Just take a 10 minutes break and come here and be seated for the panel discussion, which we will be starting at 11:45 sharp. Students kindly.
No, there is no problem.
Hello, check, check, hello, check. Hello, check, hello, check.
That okay, sir.
Hello, check. Check, check. Check, 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 check. Mic check, mic check. Check, 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 check. Hello, check, hello, check.
So, welcome back. Good afternoon to all. We now begin with the panel discussion Industry Academia Connect, bringing together diverse perspectives from industry and academia. We have with us Mr. C.S. Prakash, Managing Director, Pushpak Products Private Limited. So, please come to the stage. And we have Professor Sridhar Murthy, distinguished scientist, retired from ISRO and former managing director, Anthrax Corporation Limited. So please take your seat on the dais. We have Dr. Anup Dayanand Sadhu, Chief Commercial Manager, Indian Railway Traffic Service. We have Dr. Anjani Priyadarshini, Quantum Technologies Industrial Specialist, former National Lead for Quantum Technologies AWS India. So we have our moderator, Dr. Sandeep Shastri, Vice President, Nitte deemed to be University, Bangalore campus.
Friends, as we begin this panel discussion on Academia Industry Connect, it's my privilege to very briefly introduce our panel today. I think the real introduction of the panel will be when they start speaking, but we also know who they are in terms of the designations they have. But let me just take a minute to say a few words about them. And in random order, I'll just introduce them, not necessarily as for how they are sitting. Let me start with Prakash ji. He is a first generation entrepreneur who started Pushpak in 1992, and he has been involved in multiple sectors. Mechanical engineer by training, he has gone on to do multiple certifications in various areas. He has won several awards, and importantly, as a global role, he is today the honorary counsel for the Czech Republic, and given Czech Republic's high presence in the world of automotive engineering and mechanical engineering, I think he is somebody who fits that role perfectly. Thank you, sir, for being part of our panel. Our second panelist who I'd like to introduce is Dr. Anjani Priyadarshini, a quantum industry specialist, a member of the expert group on that theme for the government of Andhra Pradesh. She has worked with Amazon, she has worked with Bosch, she has worked with Soham Laboratories. She has done her PhD from the Indian Institute of Science And given her professional trajectory, I think she is one of the most ideally suited to talk about industry academia relation. Uh, Professor K.R. Sridhar Murthy has for 3.5 decades been part of ISRO. He has been the vice president of the International Institute of Space Law. He was a counselor in the Indian Embassy in Paris, focusing on space issues. He has won several international awards. He was the executive director and managing director of Anthrax Corporation. And currently, he is a member of the Chancellor's Chairman's Council at the Jain deemed to be university. And somebody I have had the privilege to work with for many years, and a wonderful human being is what I would describe Professor Murthy as. Thank you, sir, for also joining us this afternoon. I would like to also introduce Dr. Anup Dayanand Sadhu. I kept him in the end because you generally keep those who consider you as their teacher right at the end. So I was privileged to coach in small ways Anup when he was writing the civil service exams and got into the Indian Railway Traffic Service. Many of you may be surprised to note he's actually a MD in psychiatry from the National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences. So from MD in psychiatry, he moved on to looking at the health of our railways. And that was a new type of mental health I think you had to deal with when you went into the railways. And that's what makes you realize you are growing old. Because Anup told me when I spoke to him recently that he has just retired. So when your students start retiring, you are really old. So Anup has just retired, and looking at him, nobody would say that you have retired, and that's what I told him. And those of us who have a musical bent of mind, he is also in his other life a very well-known playback singer. He is a playback singer largely in Kannada, also in Hindi. He takes part with his spouse in a lot of concerts. And his favorite I heard was Vishnuvardhan songs, am I right? Those are the songs he loves to sing. And okay, so that's the wonderful panel that I have with me. In true style of a panel discussion, I have suggested to my co-panelists that no long speeches. Many times I see in a panel discussion, 4 panelists, 4 speeches, question answer, over. We are trying to make it a true, authentic panel discussion, where as a panel, we will talk about issues. And we will have 4 rounds in this panel because Prashant and the team have given us exactly 1 hour. And we started at 12 o'clock and we will end sharply at 1 o'clock. And first round now to my 4 panelists, and I request and I know all my panelists are very disciplined people. So we will all stick to time. First round, all of us will take 2 minutes to make our opening comments. Sir, I remember as a student in the 1980s, we used to talk of academia industry collaboration. And even 36 years later, we are talking about it. But then that time it was different and now it's different. We have moved quite a lot from then. And today, industry academia collaboration takes totally new contours and dimensions. So let me begin with the lady on our panel. Dr. Anjali, what would your first 2-minute intervention be on the topic of discussion?
So, as I'm a quantum industry specialist by profession, by experience, by education, I just want to give a very high level what is quantum computer meant for you. It can be an industry or it can be the institute, same. So it's not a standalone education where you do a semester course and go for exams. Quantum computer is a tool. the way you are using your CPU or GPU or HPC, quantum computer is a tool. So you need to learn how to handle it in academia, then only you will solve a real-time use cases in industry. And if you understand the superposition, entanglement, algorithms and all those things, you're not going to succeed there. You need to pick up industrial use cases and understand how to formulate the problem and how to design the circuit, how to understand that error characteristics in this, and which kind of programming language you need to use it, how do you interpret the results, how do you feed it back to the classical infrastructure. So until unless you solve this one, all the time as way back 10 years or 50 years or 100 years, how the distance between industry and academia will stay with you. So if you are not in cultivating that real-time use cases in academia as part of your projects or internships, quantum is may not be a cup of tea for you. So you need to understand how to solve it and how to lever this one in your respective disciplines.
Thank you so much. And thank you, ma'am, for setting the trend of keeping to the time. Sri, what would your opening comments be?
Sir, please allow me at the outset to congratulate NMIT for very pioneering steps in research and innovation. I remember way back in 2010, you thought of a student satellite, a PICO satellite, which was developed and launched through the institution. Since then, I think the journey in innovation had been very impressive. So I think you should all clap for yourselves for the spirit you have in the field of innovation. Having said that, of course, this topic no more requires justification because India is at the cusp today of transformation. All of us are aware of this, and we are also aware of the demographic dividend, which will be there for a few decades probably. So time is running out. So certainly, I think the industry academia connect for innovations is going to be very, very critical for transformation of India. Well, we have seen wide range of possibilities. All proven models are there in terms of the impact this can create, spinning out startups, and from them, creating an ecosystem where you can have spin-off industries. You can also, transfer the know-how you generate. Many patents are getting generated in the universities, and there are also several ways in which industry can connect. I need not elaborate all that, but the question is, what is really the challenge? What is really coming in the way of a stronger connect between the industry as relevant for today? Well, the main issue I feel is one of quality. The second is time-bound actions, and also probably given the number of institutions and the size of you see the number of learners and so on, we are probably very thinly spread. These are all some of the challenges we have to overcome. I think if we can do that, we will be second to none in the world in terms of the innovations and taking the industry forward.
I do hope the youngsters are taking note of how your decades of experience can be captured in 2 minutes. And what Sridhar Murthy sir said in 2 minutes is a reflection of those years of experience he has had in the field. Let me move now to Dr. Anup for his opening comments.
Good afternoon, all of you. Well, it's wonderful to be part of this particular panel discussion. Indian Railways, as you know, that we are not just the logistics company, but we are the lifeline of the nation itself. With 69,000 kilometers, route kilometers, we are the fourth largest in the world. And also that we run nearly about 22,000 trains every day. carrying about 2.3 crores people on a daily basis.
That's what.
On a daily basis. And having said that, what we are seeing is one of the greatest transformation that we are seeing it right now in terms of the AI, and we are running more number of Vande Bharat trains, Kavach. There are so many other modifications that they are, but that we are doing it in the railways. And most important thing, what we have rolled out, which will be of a great interest to the young people like you, is that the rail tech policy, which we have rolled out recently in the month of February of 2026, wherein that we are giving a 50% grant for all the projects that what we want to do, and also that the collaboration with some of the RDSOs and various institutions, the railway institutions that we are having it. I think please look at it and take interest in your railway projects. So which will be of great interest. I think the future tracks of Indian Railways are waiting for your innovation, and I'm sure that you'll be coming to the railways not just with the degrees, but the problem that what we have solved. I think what we are looking at, not just the employees that are coming into the railways, but we are looking at the partnership. So that is very important, and so that is what we are looking at. And I'm sure that in the coming days that we're going to achieve this, whatever the vision that what the Viksit Bharat of 2047, what we're going to get it.
Thank you so much, Anup, for those opening comments. Prakash sir, what would your initial statement be?
ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ 25 ವರ್ಷದ ಸಿಲ್ವರ್ ಜುಬ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ನಿಟ್ಟೆ ಮೀನಾಕ್ಷಿ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ಗೆ ಕಂಗ್ರ್ಯಾಚುಲೇಷನ್. ಹಾಗೆ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ಲಿ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮರದ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ನೆರಳಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಟೀಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಲಿ. ಸಮನ್ವಯ ಅಂದರೆ ಸಮಾನ ಮನಸ್ಕರ, ಒಂದು ಲೈಕ್ ಮೈಂಡೆಡ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಗುಡ್ ಕಾಸ್. ಅಂದರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ನ ಎಲಿವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ, like you will become an entrepreneur, or you can become a good employee or good motivator or whatever it may be. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾಕಿರೋ ಒಂದು ಬೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರತಿ ವರ್ಷ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಒಂದು ದಾರಿ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಗುಡ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಆಲ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್. ಇದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಸಮಾನ ಮನಸ್ಕರು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇವನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರೋ ಒಂದು ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಬೆಳಿಬೇಕು, ಒಂದು ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಆಸೆಗೆ ನೀರ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಬೆಳೆಸುತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಗಿಡ. ಆ ತರ ಬೀಜ ನೆಟ್ಟು ಬೀಜದಿಂದ ಗಿಡ ಬರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡೋದೇ ಇದು ಸಮನ್ವಯದ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಅಂತ ನನ್ನ ಭಾವನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇವಾಗ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ದಿಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಸೆಟಪ್. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾಲೇಜು ಬರೀ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ರಿಇನ್ಫೋರ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಲಿ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ದಾರಿ ತೋರಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮಂತ ಸಣ್ಣ ಸಣ್ಣ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಗಳು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾವೆ, ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಅವರು ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಒಳ್ಳೊಳ್ಳೆ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಸ್ರೋದಿಂದ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಇವರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಈಗ ಟೀನಲ್ಲಿ ಗಿಡ ಕಿತ್ಕೋತಾರೆ ಕುಡಿ, ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಡ್ಯೂಟಿ. ನೀವು ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ದ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಕುಡಿ ಅಂತ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ಎಳೆದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಿತ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಒಳ್ಳೇದಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಇದು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಅಸ್ ಎ ಕಾನ್ಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದಿನ ಜೀವನದ ಒಂದು ಬೀಜನ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಬೆಳೆಯೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ದಾರಿ ಬೇಕೋ ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದೇ ಈ ಸಮನ್ವಯ ಒಂದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋ ಒಂದು ಟೀಮು. ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬೆಳೆಸಿರೋ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ನ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಮರಿದಲೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಜೊತೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೂ. ಅಂಡ್ ಯುವರ್ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ನಾನು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಿಗ್, ಐ ಗಿವ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಹ್ಯುಮ್ಯಾನಿಟಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಬೆಳೀರಿ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್. ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ಸರ್ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯವನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ರಾಜ್ಯಗಳಿಂದ ಸಹ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ತಲೆ ಹಲ್ಲಾಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ನೀವು ಬೇರೆ ರಾಜ್ಯದಿಂದ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಆದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮೊಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇದ್ದು ಕನ್ನಡ ಭಾಷೆಯೂ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಕನ್ನಡ ಭಾಷೆಯನ್ನು ನೀವು ಬಹುಶಃ ಮಾತಾಡುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಬೇರೆಯವರು ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ನೀವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ತೀರಾ. The next 2 rounds will have a dialogue within the panel, and the third round will be questions from your side to the panel. So please note what the panelists say and think of the question you want to ask. Panelists will now address each one of them a particular question which I will pose to them. And this is not a surprise test. They all know the question that I'm going to ask them and therefore have come prepared to address that question. And once they complete the round of addressing the question asked, the next round will be based on what they have said. Each one will ask somebody else a question based on what they have said. It will be like a round robin. Maybe I will start by asking Anup. Anup will then ask maybe Professor Sridhar. Professor Sridhar will ask Professor Prakash. Prakash will ask Anjani. So that will be the second round. But both rounds, we all will confine ourselves to not more than 3 minutes each. I'll start with Anup. Anup, after 3.5 decades in the railways, which is a governmental organization, but not a governmental department. It's a public sector like unit, which has commercial dimensions also. What has been your experience of railways collaborating with the private sector? You were head of container corporation, all those areas. Give us some insights into railways collaboration with the private sector.
Actually, after having served nearly about 30 years in Indian Railways, I could see a sea change in the kind of interaction that what the government unit like railways used to have with industry academia. Earlier, it used to be very superficial and it used to be something like a guest lectures and other things. So, but right now, what I can see here is that it is a more deeper and strategic and result oriented. So that is what I feel that now the connect has become much more important and very serious. And basically that what we have seen is the gap between what the railway requires in the person joining the railways and what the academia is teaching them. So that gap has to be reduced. Because of that, we are directly interacting with the academia in tweaking the syllabus itself. For example, that to add more the bridge bridge science and rail wheel interaction. So this the science itself and all this railway technology is a very complex thing. So that we are doing it. And second thing is that we are having a research center, nearly about 12 research centers in connection with all the IITs and IITs. So which is specifically doing research on the railway technology. So that is one. And also we are having exclusive Vishwavidyalaya. Now at Baroda that we are having the Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya where we are training people, the youngsters like you with the BSc, BTech, MTech and MBA also. They are exclusively that we are teaching them regarding the railway technology. So if you ask me that what exactly is the thing is now that we are calling Indian Railways is asking the academy to come and not as a consultant or a consulting them, but we want to make them requesting them to become as a partners in achieving the whatever the visions of the Viksit Bharat is there for 2047. Right?
Anup was having a conversation with all of us. And in the middle, he said, youngsters like you. And then I realized he's not having a conversation with us, but he's having a conversation with all of you. But he made certain very important points. Initially, academia industry interaction was once a month you hold a guest lecture, and that's industry academia interaction. Now, as he said, there needs to be a seamless integration. You don't know where industry ends and academia continues, or academia ends and industry continues. And that's the fact that today we have professors of practice in the university who are people from the industry who have come, I think is an indication of that. Let me now turn to Dr. Anjani. Anjani ma'am, as someone from the industry now, having worked in academia also, as someone from the industry, what are some of the challenges you have faced in establishing connect with the academia?
Yeah, is completely from my personal experience and my personal perspective. Working with the industry is more easier than working in the academia because when we were doing PhD, if you see a lot many faculties were PhDs in some institute before joining here. So when you are doing a PhD, if someone said that this methodology won't work, this algorithm won't work, or this system won't work, we used to challenge, saying that, okay, let me try and understand why it's not working. Let me come to the conclusion by validating myself without going about any kind of prejudice or assumptions or anything of that. So we are trying by doing, the learning by doing it. But when a lot many faculty which I encountered and met in here somewhere, what happened when we introduced these are the quantum computers available. So my major role is there to establish a quantum computers or maybe quantum computing ecosystem in the country. That's my role after my PhD, whatever the job I do. So these are the multiple quantum computers are available. These are the algorithms available. These are the use cases available. Very first question, a researcher or faculty asks, I read somewhere these systems are assembled, these are not indigenous, or we may require 100 qubits. We heard this is a breakable, this algorithm may not work. So right now, after the crossing the PhD came as a faculty, they are going with assumptions without testing it. So it is very tough to convince the people and give a validation, these things will work. And second thing, from the students. Ma'am, you are asking us to do the semester courses. You tell me which kind of job I get. So all together, I just want to address. I used to address. I don't know how much it was understood by people. See, first thing is that a lot many biases will come from different directions with the intent or without intent or with the knowledge or without knowledge. As a faculty, as a researcher, your faculty or a student, as a researcher, you need to come to a conclusion by testing it, by doing it. And without starting at 3 qubit or 4 qubit, 5 qubit, you can't even formulate a problem at 100 qubit system. You need to start small, understand how to problem statement, how to design a substitute, how to mitigate the errors, and then you need to go for the higher qubits. You are aiming high means you are literally stopping the innovation or any kind of research institute itself. You are the face, you are going to decide it, any kind of semester courses, any kind of R&D. So that is the one of the request I'm going to give researchers. And first, quantum is a small field. So if you're asking me which kind of jobs you will get it will be limited. There is no infinite amount of field. Not only quantum, any field there is no infinite amounts of jobs available. There is a ikigai. You have taken this ECE or mechanical, civil, or computer science or chemistry. There is a ikigai, right? So there is a reason why you have chosen specific discipline. Quantum is a tool. Why you are using HPC? Why you are using CPU or GPU? Similarly, you are using quantum as a tool to solve some problem. Try to identify the scientific challenges in your own field. If you come from electrical engineering, so take an example of power dispatch problem, grid optimization problem. If you come from biomedical, biotechnology, identify the relevant use cases in your own field. Try to understand quantum by using quantum or by leveraging quantum, how you can solve this one. Then there won't be a problem about the jobs and internships, right? Because you're addressing your own field with the extra wrapper of the quantum. So that's the way you won't get into the insecurity of the jobs. But suppose nanotechnology came, HPC came, quantum came, then you know the technology will came. How many jobs one can create in the specific field? So one thing is that how do you use a technology in a conventional science and engineering is the key. You need to identify which are the use cases in your own discipline will be addressed, can be addressed by using any of technologies. That's what.
Wonderful. I think Anjali ma'am has done some plain speaking, which very often we don't do. And she has put it in very nice way. I think if I could put it a little crudely, the question she has posed to faculty and students is a simple question. Do you have a solution to a problem or do you have a problem to a solution? A lot of people have problems for every solution. But can we look for solutions to the challenges that we are facing? That's the question I think she has posed. And I hope some of you were lulled out of your complacency when you heard the questions that she raised. Let me move to Prakash sir. Prakash sir, given your global exposure and given current global trends, for us in Bangalore, what do you see as the opportunities globally for academia industry interaction?
Great, sir. As you are aware, India is growing very fast. And worldwide, all the people are looking for India. And the opportunities in India itself, we are having a huge, everybody is looking for India. But still there is a big opportunities for going our team to other countries and doing great things. Now we have around 100 plus embassies in all over the world, and every country is having a student exchange, faculty exchanges, and all is there. And here also we are having some association for the Honorary Council Association and other things. Majorly, what I am suggesting your HR team or somebody can write a letter to all the international Indian embassies to connect the institutes like universities, or because even if you take a Czech Republic, a small country of 1 crore population, they are having 104 technology centers. See, each center take one person means yearly 100 people. Just I am giving example. So faculties and students, and they are also coming to India to learn our students how they are working. Even every institute they are making a satellite. Now the era is this. So every even if you take any outside country, they are not access to build a satellite. So that opportunity you are having means our country is having and your institute is having. So bring those kind of who are all interested in the your whatever the incubator or thing you have already made, call them here, or you can also interact with other universities or other colleges outside India, connect with the people, connect with the faculties, or some with the use of the government of India, and also now Atmanirbhar Bharat and Make in India. They are all whichever the components are coming from outside country. Now they are having a big facilities like a startup companies or something like government funding and all. Those are the project you take, start that kind of business, connect with the who is the real OEMs outside India. Connect with those kind of people, build your own establishment, small way, make collaboration, innovation, then next level elevation.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Let me move to the last panelist, Professor Sridhar Murthy, sir. Sir, you have had the advantage of being in government, being in the public sector, and also being at a university. Now, what has been your experience till now of academia industry interaction? And what would be that one suggestion you would make to expand this interaction?
In my role in ISRO, I was associated with the technology transfers and development of industries. Nearly 200 technologies were successfully transferred from our labs, ISRO labs, to the industry. We learned a lot. We learned a lot in this process. I will take one or two points to highlight how the industry and coordination with academia can be more impactful. My observation subsequently in academia, the number of projects I have seen from our technical institutions, even at PG level, they are all of a very small size. So I think the first thing we should think of is scaling up. Each institution should think of a hierarchy of projects, from simple projects, because the capabilities of students, learners are also at different levels, diverse levels. So I think each institution should have a mega project which will put a challenge to the entire institution, many departments all together, and medium level projects and individual projects from students and so on. And there should be some level of connectedness, and finally there could be impact. I have seen in Europe, institutions looking at major problems. Can we design an aircraft which can be completely run with solar energy? This is a challenge to start with. Like this, we take a mega challenge and put it together. Maybe it will take 2-3 years and use all our management and technical skills to come together to create an impact.
Thank you, sir. It's interesting when Professor Murthy was talking about connectedness and impact, the power came back to us. So that was the whole impact of connectedness which we noticed in what you said. Let me go now to the penultimate round before I open it up to questions. As I said, this is a round where we will ask questions to one another. And I would take the privilege of asking the question to Dr. Prakash. And then Prakash sir, after he answers the question, will then pose a question to one of the other panelists, and then we go around. What is my question to you? Sir, as part of the intervention you made, I was reminded of the National Education Policy, which has one very important principle, which is internationalization at home. If you look at Bengaluru today, we have so many foreign companies which are establishing their industry or their unit in Bengaluru. Now, how do we, given your experience, how do we leverage on these opportunities that are now coming up? And these opportunities will only expand with the coming years. So how do we take advantage of internationalization at home?
Now, if you see Tumkur, there is a big Japanese park. And if you take aerospace park, 50% of the industries are come from the foreign, like Boeing or many companies, even whatever it is. My suggestion, your institution should go to them, ask them for the free internship, not charge. Let them start with the internship, connect and understand the weekly 2 days or something like that. You can make you very first year, after first year, second year onwards, let them go and connect with the industries, whichever the industries. Even if they pay, it is okay. Don't demand and go for it. Let us try with that. At least if you have 100 industries in Bangalore, at least your 50 people will get a job. Job means internship. With that internship, they will come back and create an incubator or something like that. That will be connected to the many industries. One, suppose if you are sending 10 people to Boeing, if they see that your students are really good, next year they'll come for the 20. Like that, if you should, this is the purely management work, not the student work. If your management is go to the institute, you can put some 5 people, let them go, list out what all the industries are coming to India. Or whenever the industries are coming, they don't have manpower. They will come with 1 or 2 people. That one you can connect and give them, I will give you 5 manpower to you, I mean like 5 engineers to you or 5 MBA students to you. You use them and make them your groundwork. It's like a greenfield project. If you start entering with that, definitely I will tell you, your 5 students out of 3 are definitely get the job in the company.
Students, Professor Prakash has given you an idea to go and now badger your teachers and your heads of departments and say, Prakash sir said, do this. What are you doing? So I hope some of you will take the initiative for that. Prakash sir, who is your question for among the 3 panelists? They gave you so many inputs. Is there any input which you felt you would like to?
Yes, I will tell you with the ISRO team only. In India...
So you will reduce the mics.
In India, if you take DRDO lab or NAL or ISRO or something, they are all 100%, they are select only 98 place. When they are joining the job or something like that, they are all highly rich knowledge. They have developed a lot of TOTs or technologies and many things. My suggestion to all students and sir also, give them free to the students or college, let them develop that, whatever you are developed, let them make the commercialization. And out of 1,000 technology you developed, give free of them for the institute. Not only in all the Indian institutes, sorry, universities you give, convert it as a diamond box necklace simple language I'm telling. Let them, whatever the technology you develop, give it free of cost or something. Don't charge for them. Make them hand out one or two scientists. You can give them supporting that you can charge to institute. I am not worried about institute pay the money or not, but don't ask for anything from the student.
So how would you respond to that? And I'm adding to this what Anup said. Railways has tied up with colleges, but which colleges? IITs.
And also,
Now, there is a world beyond IITs also. There is a world beyond NITs also. Why not go to them?
No, even
Railways are we not having talent in non-IIT and non-NIT institutions? That's the question I would pose.
No, 1 second, sir. Before that, actually, railways is, if you compare to 20, 30 years back, railway technology or whatever they are using, it was totally outdated. Now they are totally changing. Opportunities in railways is going to be next to 20 years is plenty. Make use of that. Take support like this, sir, and all. You make use of even small signal light. If you change, that is going to be give the big impact. Or some tracking, or some ticketing. Something. Many opportunities are there. Please use that your new technologies. Give the support. Make them as a trial and make it to the global.
Sir. Of course, sir, my recommendation is not to give anything free because there is no value. If
for
you
student,
give
definitely you will get a value.
No,
Yes, sir,
even students, give support. There will be financial support for you to buy, but there should be value for anything that is given. Of course, having said that, the government today is very supportive of startups in the field of space. A policy is drawn up. A special organization is created with the headquarters at Ahmedabad. This is called In Space. Probably many of you know about this. And they have a lot of schemes to support the startups, entrepreneurs. They give training. They make you can make use of the facilities in ISRO if you are starting up and you need not establish front end investment to expensive facilities. These are available. Software is available. All this kind of support is available if only you have the commitment and good ideas. Certainly, you can make use of these facilities much more than just making available some of the technologies. In fact, in ISRO, we developed a finite element software for a structural analysis. Now we gave it open to all universities, saying that anybody can improve because it is done through open source and it needs maintenance and updating. We didn't have manpower, so we said that any university can take it, improve upon it, and then can also commercially make use of such improvements. So this kind of approach is there in ISRO, and certainly there is we welcome the idea that this should be available to wider community.
So your question to either Anup or to Anjali.
Ma'am, you are in the field of a very emerging area, and you have also said there are challenges when it comes to make people attracted to the research or taking up this field further. What do you think could be the best practice in terms of making this technology? Because this is one area which can have a lot of potential for future India. Maybe a couple of decades later, I think quantum technologies are going to make a bigger impact, and certainly we need more and more learners taking up research and serious studies in this area. What are your recommendations?
So first thing is the intent. Actually, it can be a researcher or student, anyone. They should have intent of the risk-taking appetite. So it can be a semester course. You can float it, but it's not a regular theoretical semester course. There should be a quantum club. In the quantum club, you are posting all the industrial use cases, and asking the student to come over, because quantum is interdisciplinary. Take an example, if it's a biomedical device. So you need a biomedical person, you need a biotechnology person, you need a quantum scientist, you need a physicist, you need a mechanical guy, you need a single person that chip together. None of the student, none of the human being can understand all this discipline in one lifetime. It's not possible. So keep in real-time interdisciplinary use cases, keep it on the table. So let the students collaborate and identify the solution and understand and exchange the knowledge what is really required to exchange. So how much I need as a physicist, how much I need to learn a signal person from other person to develop the product. So you should have that risk-taking appetite to trying to solve a real-time use cases in the academia. So if you are going only a theory and exams and algorithms, you will get the disconnect all the time how to use it. So it has to be inculcated in the syllabus. And for the faculty, thing is that you need a resources. You will get the resources from the semester courses and all those things. You start going for like a high level funding from the institute. Start small. Take one real time example. Make a small thing. So it may not be a very niche level publication or science direct, but it's okay. It can be an archive preprint, right? It will give you confidence to you. Okay, I'm able to solve a 3-level system. So you can scale it up for the 8 qubits. You can scale it for 16 qubits or 64 qubits. If you're not starting small, if you're aiming high, it's not possible. Actually, it's not possible. You're all the time thinking, okay, we will get a 64 qubit machine, a 100 qubit machine, or this is the problem can solve. But who is the person going to solve it if you're not starting small? So what we advise to the faculties or students, start small. Take a small use cases, start small. It will give you a pathway to identify the real-time use cases.
A question to Anup from you.
Yeah, the Indian Railways is the one which when I was even studying is a very less explored. I know only 2 ways. One is that the people who are at the UPSC exams will end there, or we know loco pilots or like lower level things. But if I'm a graduate from different streams in the BTech or PE or science graduate, what are the ways I can see my career in the Indian Railways, or what are the exams or what can be the things available?
Yeah, it's a good question that which will be very useful for all of you. Well, there are for a graduate, for an engineering graduate, there are 2 things. One is that they can go in for a UPSC exams, that is Indian Engineering Service. So there are various streams of there, civil engineering, signal and telecommunication, stores, and so many other faculties are there wherein they can take up this particular exam and directly become a class 1 officer in the railways. There are nearly about 12 different departments in railways. So there are 2 streams. One is a civil services stream and another is engineering stream. For engineers, I think Indian Engineering Service, IES, so they have to take it. And otherwise, that you must have heard about Railway Recruitment Board. So there they'll be conducting periodically exams once in 6 months, once in 1 year. So that is for the junior engineers. So they can join this particular stream, and later on, they can take up exams once they join the railways, and they become the officers in the particular cadre. I think right now there are these 2 streams which are there wherein you can enter railways.
For the benefit of our students, let me make this point. Since 1985, for the last 41 years, if you look at the rank list of those who succeed in the civil service exam, correct me if I'm wrong, among the first 20 names, at least 18 will be professionals, doctors, engineers, architects, MBA degree holders. These are the people who are today, not today, since the mid 1980s, occupying the top positions. You just do a web search. Who are the Karnataka IAS officers, Karnataka IPS officers, Karnataka Indian Forest Service officers, officers of the Indian Railway Traffic Service? You will see more than 70% of them are professionals, that is engineers, doctors, architects, management graduates. Am I right in?
Absolutely right, sir.
So today, a lot of engineers use their engineering education skills to be able to contribute in a much larger canvas, that is the government of India or a state government. So friends, with this we have completed the 2 rounds of dialogue among the panelists. Now is your time. If any of you have questions, please mention which of the panelists that question is for, and please make your question very brief. Can we have somebody take the mic, Akra? If you need a mic, you can take mine. Yeah.
Anybody having a question?
Who has the first question? Yes.
Ma'am, I have a question for you. Since you are talking about connecting with the industry, with the research and publications, so as a junior level faculty or freshers, so what is the first, the stage where we can connect? Is it through projects or the writing articles or something, so which you can suggest?
So maybe you're from which discipline?
Management, MBA.
You're from management. So first thing is that you need to identify what is the relevant field for you. Suppose if you're coming from any science and engineering, is straightforward. If you are a management person, what is the relevant field? So you need to go with your passion. So are you going to contribute to the finance? Are you going to contribute for any kind of the engineering or science solutions? So try to understand your destination first. So if you suppose if you want to solve a portfolio optimization problem, or like these are the neutral problems. These are it not require any kind of science and technology background. So you need to identify what kind of domain you are concentrating in. Then one thing is try to understand either 2 ways. One is the science way, one the engineering way. Engineering way generally, like I'm not engineering graduate, I'm a BSc, MSc. So generally you start from the backside of the textbook. You take a problem, you understand the relevant concepts in the problem. That's the one way you can start it. That means you're starting a problem, you're understanding what is the needed things for me. So there's a way to fix a bulb. You don't need to do a PhD degree. You need to understand how, as a mechanical way, how to fix it. Or other way is the science way. Science way is that you understand the concepts. What is the quantum computation? What is superposition? What is entanglement? You're building to the ladder ascending way. So you can choose either one. As for your career, if you are a faculty, like you can say from the reverse, because start with the problem so that you will see those milestones.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Sir, the question is for Sandeep sir. So actually, as you heard from all of them, from industry perspective, do methods like long lectures and written exams truly help students become job oriented and job ready, or should institutions focus more on practical learning?
That's why I think the answer to both your questions is a overwhelming yes. That's why all my colleagues now have started ensuring that we have interactive classes. Now, interactive classes are a two-way street. If my faculty have to be interactive, you have to be interactive. Now, if my faculty is not interactive, you have to cajole and convince them to be interactive by the way you raise pointers. So, our faculty over the last few years have been trained in that to bring the real life examples into your classrooms and make it more relevant to the world outside that you are seeing. But to be able to do that, there is a base that has to be established, which is the theoretical knowledge, fundamentals that you need to have. Otherwise, tomorrow when you go for placement interviews, they'll say, oh, you all have practical knowledge, but where is the theoretical base for what you have to do? So, that theoretical foundation is important, and we also ensure that that practical knowledge comes in. Also remember, our evaluation systems have changed. Your LA component now not the memory power that you have, but your application power today. You see, that has changed. The question paper pattern also is seeking to ensure greater application-based knowledge rather than a theoretical-based knowledge. So now, we are not totally satisfied with where we should go, but the effort at least has started. See? Now, some of you may have been there that day, around 1.5 years ago. We had an Indian teaching in America who came here and spoke to everybody about what is it to study in an American university. And one of you, like you, asked a very interesting question to him, which was, "Sir, is attendance compulsory in your university?" And that day, everybody gave a big applause to what he said. And you know what he was my friend, you know what he replied? He said, "Young man, a man," like only boys are capable of asking such questions, cheeky questions. The professor replied, "Young man, I also was an undergraduate student like you in India, and I know what that question means." And then he went on to say, "In my class, attendance is not compulsory. But tomorrow, don't tell me that the assignment I gave you was tough, because no AI can help you with that assignment. And unless you attended my class, you cannot write that assignment. Tomorrow, don't tell me that the question paper was out of the syllabus. Because for me, there is no syllabus. Whatever I do in the class is syllabus. So you don't need to come to my class, but then don't come and tell me afterwards that I can't write your assignment, I can't answer your questions."
Sir, I want to add a point here. That's a very good question actually for this generations. So there are two debatable ways. One is the traditional the education system we all went through, and the second thing is a practical education. Where do you want to see yourself after 4 years? Do you have an answer? If you want to become a startup or entrepreneur?
Yes,
or if you
entrepreneur.
yeah. So if someone saying that he want to end up his career in DRDO or ISRO, so if you both are sitting in the same classroom, which kind of teaching we can do? See, if you want to enter into the ISRO or BRC or DRDO or anything, you need to get a qualified exam. So without having a traditional classrooms, how do you qualify it? And if you want to go for a startup entrepreneur, agreed. So if you are building a robotic arm, if you are building some robotic or anything, agreed. You know how to do it. So if you want to do a finite tuning to that, you are ending up solving a partial differential equations or any other complex analysis or something. If you don't know the mathematics behind it, the mechanics, aerodynamics behind it, how do you solve it? So leaving a traditional education, completely going a practical will be fun for you, but you can create a model, but you can't make it 100% qualified a working model. That's not possible. So it has to be, as Sir said, that it has to be both ways. In your education, you need to understand the fundamentals and theory, and you should have the fundamental mathematics background. Actually, wherever the engineer come from, the mathematics is a crux. You need to understand it. But in every subject, every semester, you need to apply to the practical way of doing it. That's why the SAMANVAYA is further, right? There are more than 300 plus projects you did it. But why you are doing one project per year? Do it every semester. Do it for every subject. Try to understand how to use the applications. So as Sir Gati Shakti, right? The Sir.
Yeah,
So the kinetic energy. That's what it, if I'm not wrong, is the kinetic energy, right? That's it means. Just try to understand the concept where exactly it is in the real time. That is, you need to figure it out the way based on your passion, what conceptual knowledge you require for it. And it is completely debatable. There is no single answer for that.
Few years back, one of our students, when he went for a placement interview, he was asked a question. His answer was, "Don't ask me that question. The teacher did not teach this in the classroom." The teacher did not teach this in the classroom. Now, what are we doing? NEP asked this question: what to learn or how to learn? We are focusing on how to learn. Because then those are like wings which allow you to fly even when you are not there in the institution. May not have reached there as yet, but we are slowly making the journey in that direction. Okay, we have time for one more question. Yes. Now, I would like to give an opportunity to students first now. I'd like to give opportunity to students.
So first of all, thank you so much for all the facts and knowledges that you guys shared with us, and Sandeep Shastri sir, timely comments as usual, super fun. The entire panel discussion was. My question is directed towards Anjani ma'am. The thing is, I've been following AWS a little, and what I've come to understand is you've been providing quantum as service to like a lot of companies. Now, the thing is, I've come to understand that the hardware part of like quantum computing has been outsourced, or maybe a right term would be it's been abstracted. So now, as a student, when I want to get into AWS or anybody else who wants to get in, is application layer the only place where it's open for us, or what else can we look into? That's my question.
Lady actually read the title. It's a former, okay? I resigned in December, but I'll give you an answer to you. See, whenever you're entering AWS or entering any other industries, there is a job portal. You need to see it. You need to apply it. That's a different story. So when we come to the application part of it, as one thing is that India is meant for application layer. That's what somehow we started, somehow we ended today. This has to be changed. So we no longer supposed to be an application layer. Someone is providing the systems for us and we are using the systems, or we are playing. We are the people has to do in the fabrications, manufacturing. We need to build our own hardware right now. It can be semiconducting, it can be quantum, it can be HPC, it can be anything. So how long we do import the devices and just learn how to operate it? If because of any kind of this geographical situations, if the systems got, we don't have support. So imagine if we don't have support, what we are going to do with the investments? So that's why it's Atmanirbhar Bharat, because it's Bharat, everything made in India, everything concepts came from the nation with the intent. So we done with enough application layer. We are right now has to enter into the fabrication. We need to do our manufacturing. We need to do our hardware. So quantum also same thing. One thing, we need to build our own indigenous quantum computer. You can choose anything. It can be photonics, semiconductors, superconducting, or ion trap, or anything. And there are like application layer. Which are the use cases we need to build further? Definitely, I agree to the point to you. We need to focus more on fab manufacturing and indigenous. Whatever it is, we should go on rely on indigenous. I agree to that.
I would have loved to give more time for questions, but then we have a constraint of time. It's exactly 1 o'clock, and I had promised everybody that we will close at the end of 1 hour, and it's exactly end of 1 hour. And I'm sure this dialogue can go on and outside the hall somewhere else. But now I would hand it over to Prashant for taking it forward. Okay.
Today, I think this project exhibition is also there. Whatever students have, they did their projects. I think they have spent a lot of time, almost a semester. And whatever time they are spending to make these projects and realize, if these projects are executed, so from the industries, whatever they need, if they take up those projects and execute, they will come to know what industry needs. Instead of they themselves selecting project and doing something and submitting the project report. So really, they will know what is the industry culture, what is the industry requirements, what they are supposed to do. So it may help, if possible, we can put some effort for that.
Undoubtedly, sir, we'll speak to the director curriculum and director research and say, let's form a small group across departments and try and reach out to companies, get those issues they want resolved and put that as projects with students. Let's work in that direction. At least let's start with a few and maybe over time that expands. That's a brilliant way of doing it.
Tech policy, the app which is there. So the challenge. I just want to tell you that Rail Tech policy, we have a website wherein whatever ideas are there that you can actually put it there in a single window thing. And also we are given some challenges also from railway side, what projects you can take it on. Please have a look at it. Okay. So you can get a funding also, 50% funding, and scaling up in case if your project is good, then we can take it up and scale it up also.
ISRO also puts up problems it is interested for solutions. I also see many websites of the government departments doing the same. I think the faculty members can facilitate reaching this to the students or defining the problems based on the needs of the industry or the other organizations, even NGOs. We have huge number of micro companies in the country now, and a lot of small and micro level companies need support in terms of solutions. I think such a survey is a very, very good starting point, and it is in the spirit of design thinking also. You should implement that.
Thank you so much. I think there's been a lot of flood of ideas that have come, and I'm constrained to put an end to the discussion, and I hand it over to SAMANVAYA for taking it forward.
That was absolutely fantastic and power-packed panel discussion. We sincerely appreciate our esteemed panelists for sharing your perspective on bridging industry and academia. And we also thank Dr. Sandeep Shastri sir for his commendable role as a moderator. Thank you so much, everyone. And just a request from all of us, sir, you are a singer, just 1 minute, one line you can sing, sir. It's a request from all of us.
Maybe an appetite for lunch.
May not be the right.
No, 1 minute, just 2 lines you can sing.
Just one line. This is a Kannada
Starting
song.
with one line, ending with a punchline.
It's a song from movie NMCH, a Kannada movie which recently in the sense about a few years back, for which I had sung for this particular thing. ಮನಸೆಂಬ ಮಳಿಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಇದ್ದಂತ ಕನಸು ಖಾಲಿ ಬರಿದಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಆಗಸ ಸಂತಸದ ಸೂರ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ನೆಮ್ಮದಿಯ ಚಂದ್ರ ಇಲ್ಲ ಬರಿದಾಗಿದೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗಸ ಮನಮೂಕಾದ ಹೊತ್ತು ಬರೀ ಶೋಕಾನೆ ಸ್ವತ್ತು ಮಾತಾಡಿದೆ ಮೌನವು ಮೌನವು. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
Amazing, and thank you so much. We would love to listen more due to the time constraint. Thank you so much. Now I call upon Dr. Archana Nayak to propose the vote of thanks.
Distinguished dignitaries on the dais, faculty members and students, good afternoon. It is my privilege to propose vote of thanks on this momentous occasion of SAMANVAYA 2026 Industry Academia Connect and Open House Project Expo. And also we are celebrating the Silver Jubilee year of Nitte Meenakshi Institute of Technology. To begin with, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to all our distinguished guests for graciously accepting our invitation, taking time out from your busy schedule and being part of this event today. Your presence and valuable insights have truly enriched this program. I extend our heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest, Dr. Shailesh Nayak, Director, National Institute of Advanced Studies, for gracing the event and delivering an insightful keynote keynote address on climate change and human adaptability. I sincerely thank our esteemed guests of honor, Mr. C.S. Prakash, Managing Director, Pushpak Products Private Limited, Professor K.R. Sridharamurthy, Distinguished Scientist, Retired ISRO, Dr. Anup Dayanand Sadhu, Chief Commercial Manager, Retired Indian Railway Traffic Service, Dr. Anjani Priyadarshini, Quantum Technologies Industry Specialist, for their active participation in the panel discussion on Industry Academia Connect. Your valuable insights and diverse perspectives have greatly enriched the discussion and provided meaningful direction to all our participants. Our sincere gratitude to the management for their constant support. We are thankful to Sri Rohit Punja, Trustee Nitte Education Trust, for his guidance and encouragement. I thank Dr. Sandeep Shastri, Vice President, Nitte Dean to the University Bengaluru campus, for his wholehearted support, guidance, encouragement, and for moderating today's panel discussion. I would also like to express our sincere thanks to our principal, Dr. H.C. Nagraj, for his leadership and wholehearted support in organizing this event. I extend my appreciation to all directors, deans, and heads of the department of Nitte Meenakshi Institute of Technology for their continuous support in successful conduct of this program. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Professor Ramchandra and his team, as well as to all the heads of the department and faculty coordinator for their efforts in organizing the open house event for today. Special thanks to digital marketing team and media personnel for effectively managing the event coverage and promotions. A heartfelt thanks to all faculty members, students whose efforts in organizing this event. I also extend my gratitude to the organizing team for their meticulous planning and to the technical and support staff for their effort in this event. Finally, I thank each and every participant and attendee who have been part of the SAMANVAYA 2026 and made this event a successful. With this, I will conclude my vote of thanks. Thank you all. Have a pleasant day. Thank you.
We can have a picture, all of us. Stand.
Thank you.
We just call all the coordinators of the event.
Yeah, sure,
for the
quickly.
picture. All the coordinators of this event, please come to the photo.
Sir, bani.
ಮುಂದೆನಾ
Sorry.
ಸಾರಿ ಓಕೆ
Sir, ಬೇಗ ತೆಗೀರಿ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So nice of you. We'll meet sometime.
Sure, definitely, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
ಇದು ನಮ್ದು ಹುಡುಗರು.
You're not joining for lunch.
Sorry?
You're not joining.
The other thing. I'm going out of station tomorrow. Lunch ಮಾಡ್ತಾ
Okay. Now, do you put it in the so please send it us. Please, please. So you hospitality on the Okay.
Yes, thank you so much.
I'll cut this straight. Yeah.
Even